far be it for me to be a bit of a smut peddler, but here today we have the Intervision side of Severin's movie label with Christina, a film starring Joel Shepherd, who we all know and love from Return of the Living Dead, which is my favorite horror film probably of all time. But here she is, pantsless, and that's good because it's not false advertising. Now, I don't want you to think this is a porn film, because this isn't a porno. It's basically one of those late-night HBO, Cinemax, Showtime titty movies that you probably watched when you was a kid or a teenager. Basically, she plays the world's most eligible bachelorette, I guess you could say. She's a party girl. She does all kinds of stuff. She stands around naked a lot, which I have no problem with. Start of the film, she gets into a bit of a race with this guy that's kind of her boyfriend, or at least her sex buddy, I guess you could say, which leads to her having sex. She goes to a party with a couple more of their friends, which leads to her having sex. They end up in a steam room, which ends up with her having sex. She, is almost kidnapped. She escapes, but then she is kidnapped, which leads to her having sex again. This time it's a lesbian thing because the people that kidnap her are all women. And they're kidnapping her for money because she's worth a lot. So then she gets kidnapped by the kidnappers, or kidnapped from the kidnappers by new kidnappers, I should say, which is a mouthful. But of course that leads for more excuses for her to have sex. And it's, like I said, it's R-rated at best. Love scenes, sex scenes. There's not really no graphic stuff here to it. There's some action here and there. There's some really badly done fight scenes here and there involving her and others that are trying to kidnap her and such. At the very end, like the very last part of the film, there's some pretty cool action sequences that I think is probably where most of the budget probably went. They didn't bother to get a fight coordinator, I don't think, but they did get somebody in there to conduct the action with the bikes and the cars and what have you at the end of the film. I wasn't disappointed with this because I basically got what I expected I was going to get. So, if you know what you're getting going into it, you're probably not going to have a problem. Don't look for much of a plot. Look for basically the late night Showtime type stuff where everything that happens to our lead is just another excuse for somebody to get naked and have very badly done simulated sex. So that's basically the gist of it. There's no extras on this. This is as bare bone as it gets. I don't know if she didn't want to do interviews, or they couldn't get her to do interviews, or maybe they didn't seek it out. I don't know. But she's, Joe Shepherd, who's on my friends list on Facebook, by the way. I've never spoke to her, but she's on there. She's promoted some reviews of this. I don't know if I can't really tell if she's really into this film or not. Maybe she would have done something if they asked her. I don't know. I don't know the story there. But as it is, it isn't that bad. Like I said, if you know what you're getting into. And you get to see such things like her basically kidnapped, blindfolded, and held captive while people drive toy trucks over her private reach. A highlight of this one, I guess you could say. The transfer is a little iffy, I do think. I don't know, maybe they didn't go through... I don't know what to say. It's like the transfer looks kind of washed out. I guess you could say that the color isn't popping off the screen, which maybe for something like this from 1984-85, I think, maybe this type of film and that, maybe we shouldn't expect it to look like, Gone with the Wind, but it looks a little rough in patches. It looks pretty good, though. I mean, there is details, but it just looks washed out, and there is some spots where you see some film damage and stuff, but as basically what I expected, the film didn't let me down. If you like these type of films, or if you just really like her, maybe you can give this one a go. And I enjoyed it for the good once over. Maybe it's a film I want to bust out, around groups of friends from here on out. And maybe it's a party film. Maybe if they're as much of a fan of Return of the Living Dead as I am, they can have just as much fun with it. But hey, there it is. And if you think this sounds like something you want to see, which if you want to see her naked, it might be something you want to see, you can get Christina from the fine folks at Intervision, which of course is a subdivision of Severin.